I've been trying to find balance with my digital devices over the past 4 years, and I've been able to do that, but it's not been without its challenges. Algorithms keep improving, and since the pandemic and the introduction of short-form videos, I've felt overwhelmed by my phone and technology. It was like my oxygen, because I couldn't do simple tasks like washing the dishes or going for a walk without it, or stimulation from another device, even though I was already overwhelmed. As a video editor, I've spent thousands of hours trying to create addictive videos and working most of my days at a screen. I've drank the same sauce that I shared, so I've developed some habits that help me enjoy my device without being ruled by it. First, I'll share how I've made my phone less addictive, then I'll share real-world habits that help me maintain balance. A lot of advice for digital minimalism is to throw the baby out with the bathwater and downgrade, but we lose so much by getting rid of our devices. The goal isn't to ditch tech completely, but to use it intentionally instead of letting it use us. And the first place I started my journey was with notification management. I manage my notifications in two ways: technically and socially. First, I'll talk about the technical because these are changes you can make now, then I'll talk about the social. When I download an application on my phone or computer, usually a message asking if it can send me notifications come up, and I always decline. In my experience, they all eventually go beyond sending only my notifications and send posts unrelated to me to get me onto their platform. Disabling these keep me in control of when and how I choose to access these applications, which makes it easier to keep a healthy relationship with my device. I also occasionally go into the notification settings on my phone and audit what can send notifications. For example, after I left a single review for a restaurant on Google Maps, they spammed me with requests to review every location I went to. So I turned it off along with others that slipped through the crack. Doing this helps me keep my screen less busy, so I'm less interested in using it, which frees up significant time and mental resources. I've also turned off notifications on my lock screen, which stopped my constant checking. It feels peaceful as I have this simple black background, and it makes scheduling a time to check my notifications much easier, which keeps me off of the device and makes it easy to streamline answering emails and responding to messages. Socially, I enforce boundaries on what apps I use. There was a time my sister would message me on WhatsApp, share a video on Instagram, comment on YouTube, then share a TikTok to me, and my brain almost exploded. I still keep accounts on these platforms so I can connect, but I've drastically simplified how I interact on them. I stick to one main messaging app per region. WhatsApp for my friends back home, Line for people in Japan. But if I were home, I'd just have one. It reduces the overwhelm I feel from jumping between platforms to keep up with conversations, and reduce the mental load so I can think much clearer about other things. I also mute non-urgent group chats indefinitely. I check them when I feel like it, usually while sitting on the toilet, because let's be honest, that's prime group chat time and an entertaining way to avoid scrolling. I combine this with another powerful method to keep my consumption balanced: reducing app overstimulation. Everything from app icons to notification badges are engineered for dopamine hits, which is why we check our phones even when nothing new is happening. This is why I struggled to leave my phone when I had simple tasks to do, because I was always anticipating dopamine hits. I struggled with being zombified daily, which is the mindless scrolling for hours on end. If I opened even one app, I'd go from platform to platform searching for dopamine. To break this cycle, I redesigned my home screen. I removed social media and gaming apps and replaced them with productivity tools that served my needs. That way, when I do check my phone, there's nothing begging me to stay glued to the screen, and making productivity tools the first thing I accessed made my productivity skyrocket. The productivity tools is how I keep balance with my devices, but balance may look different to you. The key is to be intentional with designing your home screen in a way that meets your needs. I also switched my phone to grayscale. That's the black and white display option. Without color, apps instantly go from engaging to boring tools, and the color in the real world is significantly more engaging. I can't think of many things I want to do less on my phone than scroll YouTube shorts in black and white. This trick alone has saved me hours of life, which I use engage in healthier activities that replenish my mind, like yoga and walking. Those help me keep balanced. Transparently though, I've never been able to get grayscale to stick. It works for a couple of weeks, and then in a moment of weakness, I turn on color, and my screen addiction returns. But there is one tool that works even when everything else fails when it comes to helping me maintain balance, and that's using the digital well-being tools that come with the devices. I, like most people, didn't take time to learn about the digital well-being features on my phone. My last phone broke, and in the setup process of this new phone, I decided to explore what was available and realized how powerful they are. For starters, I struggled with getting to bed on time because I'd regularly get lost in my phone, and I'd get less sleep than I needed, which meant I wasn't as sharp or positive, and it made my life worse. I started using bedtime mode, and even though it's not perfect, I've seen a massive improvement. I choose a desired time for bed, and it automatically turns my screen to grayscale and activates Do Not Disturb. If I'm watching a video and the screen suddenly goes gray, that's my cue to go to bed ASAP. I'd say it helps me go to bed 1 hour earlier on average, which helps with my recovery at the end of each day and helps me show up better in the world each day. Focus mode I use when I'm working. You can use it while reading, studying, or doing anything that requires deep focus. You can set a schedule and it turns off distracting apps during that time. It helps stop task switching and spreading my attention around, and that allows me to get into flow states and immerse myself in what I'm doing. A positive I didn't expect though is how much longer a single day feels without all of the constant stimulation. That feeling of never having enough time slows all the way down. But by far the most useful tool for me has been the screen time tracking and app limits. Using these help me keep an eye on how long I've been using my device throughout the day and place limits on apps and websites I have a problem with. I've had a bad habit of scrolling Reddit on my lunch break, and if I'm not careful, I'll spend my entire break glued to my phone. Placing time limits on these gives me power to kind of parent myself. Doing this has improved my real-world interaction more than anything else, because I feel guilty to see that I've accumulated 6 hours of screen time, then continue to scroll or bypass the limits I've set for myself. Adhering to these limits improve my discipline and awareness around problematic sites and patterns that let me know when I need to step away. But there are a few real-world rules that I've created for myself that help me stay balanced digitally. No phone before I start my day is one of those rules. My mornings go smoother when I don't start the day reacting to things on my phone. I delete distracting apps the night before so I'm not tempted first thing in the morning, and reinstalling them later is worth the few moments to download because it keeps my mornings distraction free. I do have the rare days when I'm feeling down and I don't pull this off, but those are becoming fewer and farther between because on days when I do successfully pull this off, everything about my day is better. My focus is stronger, my mood is better, my mind is sharper and much less cluttered. It's an immediate quality of life boost. One rule that goes along with that is no phones in the bed. At the beginning of the day, end of the day, or middle of the day, if I'm laying down, I should be trying to sleep or breakdancing. Yeah, not like that. I started this because when I wanted a break, I'd grab my phone and lay down on my bed, but that always led to mindless browsing and scrolling. Since starting this, I've replaced those break times with moving around and stretching my body, and now I'm more energetic throughout the day. Lately, I've also been taking small trips without my phone to reduce the anxiety of always having to have it on me. I'll go to the convenience store or anywhere that I can easily find my way back home in less than 15 minutes without it. I also don't watch videos with meals until my day has ended. I used to watch videos while eating, but then I'd get sucked into finishing the video even if I was done eating. This goes for short form and long form because short videos are even more addictive than the longer videos. Now I listen to short podcasts or read instead. I have many other small rules I follow, but my question to you is what rules do you have that help you keep balance with technology? Leave it in the comments below and watch this video next.